right now.
has no sacred cows.
And she's a Gibbons, right?
Gibbon.
Gibbon, not a Gibbons. A Gibbon.
White-handed Gibbon.
White-handed Gibbon.
Can you hold it?
It's just about 9 minutes after 6 o'clock. We'll keep you posted. It looks as though we may have a bit of storm activity tonight, but inside the 6:30 Ched talk booth, you see, Penelope is sitting over there holding court, and she is a white-handed Gibbon. And how old is she now, Andy?
She is just over 6 months of age.
She's just over 6 months.
Yep.
And you're weaning her so she can go back to the family flock.
Yeah, we're hoping that she'll be ready to go around 7 months. So
Yeah.
right now I'm just working on getting her to eat solid foods on her own. So.
And what will she spit out? Yeah. Because that's what she's doing. What will she eat besides fruit that I see on her plate?
They will eat some carbs. Like at the zoo, we'll feed them spaghetti and Cheerios and things like that.
Because you can find that in
yes,
Jungle Book.
because you can. Yeah. Also, they'll eat egg and cheese.
Really?
Yeah. So in the wild, they primarily eat fruits and vegetables, but they have been known to raid birds' nests and even catch birds right out of the air when they're swinging.
That was way more information. Way more. I was going with the monkeys and bananas. That's all I'm going.
Well, she
Although
does love
she's
her
an
bananas.
ape.
She
Yes.
loves her bananas.
But she's an ape. And an ape is defined by a little critter with no tail, right?
Yes.
Okay. All apes have no tails.
All apes have no tails.
And do all monkeys have tails?
Most monkeys have tails. There's 2 species of monkeys that don't. It's just a classification. It's just more similar apes as monkeys.
So we've been doing sort of an ongoing series with the Valley Zoo because there's so much happening down there that really I didn't know about. Most people probably don't. You go down, you occasionally see the animals, and you go, oh, that's cool. But they have a number of programs. So Andy came with us. Andy's last name is Simon. She takes care of Penelope, and we'll find out in a moment. And Denise Prefontaine is the zoo director. She says it's the greatest job in the entire world, and since I seem to go there a lot these days, I'm thinking she's got the right job. It's a great job. It's got to be the best gig in the world.
It is the best gig in the world.
And your staff take care of so many animals all over the place, just sort of individually. It's not just, like we go down and see the little meerkat that I still think is a mouse, Muriel. I call her Myrtle. We need another one so I can name it.
Yeah.
And she's just sweet. Sits in the sun there. I saw her the other day sitting in the sun, and it's just beaming in the window, and she's just.
Yep, she's our official welcomer to the zoo.
She's
always.
so sweet, but she's getting on in years too.
She's
isn't she?
getting on in years. We figure she's around. I think she's 10 years old, just in thereabouts.
And how long does a meerkat live?
Well, I read just recently, actually, that they live on average about 6 years.
Ooh,
So she's getting on.
that's borrowed
But
time.
that's something you find in the zoo too, is that something that you read in the wild, or
Yeah.
that you see that this is an average, that often in the zoo they'll be a little older than that.
Because you can take care of them better, right? I mean, that really is it. I mean, it's like when you look at cats. If somebody lets their cat out to run the streets at night, what do they tell you? The life expectancy of a cat on the road is like a year. But I mean, they can live for 10 years in your house.
That's right.
Right.
And they're getting good diets, and they're getting regular vet checks,
Yeah.
and all of that kind of thing.
Do you have
So-
a vet for the zoo?
Yes, we have a vet on staff.
And that vet knows an elephant from an ape? Like, how do you know?
Yeah, I would hope. Yeah.
I hope too.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's got to be a different consistency or something to a little ape than versus Lucy, right? Or it's like when you see a vet and the vet says, well, I specialize in birds, and I always look at them going, really? Do you get many? And there are hundreds of birds in the city, right, that people have as pets.
Yeah.
And you think, well, there's a difference between a bird and my dog.
Right. And that's a big part of it, is the learning and making sure that he's got the right information.
Mhm.
And there's a really good connection between zoos. So if there's something comes up that he's not familiar with, for example, we had them ultrasounding a sloth one day. And, if there's something there that they're not
Yeah.
familiar with, there's always someone who's an expert in sloths in the zoo community, and they can find them.
You guys are a pretty small community, actually, right?
Pretty tight community.
Tight community, that's a better
and
word, yeah.
Canadian community is smaller,
Yeah.
but in the U.S. community it's huge, but it's still a fairly tight community.
Wow. Now, Andy, tell us how you got into this, because you were studying at university, right? You
Yes.
actually graduated, right? I want to put a plug in for Education is Good.
Yeah, education is great. Got me my first choice in
Your
jobs.
first child, apparently.
Yeah, oh
yes.
yeah, yes. No, I
Actually, right at the moment, you and the baby kind of look okay together, like I'm just saying. And your parents must be thrilled.
yeah. Yeah, there's been some jokes.
I'm sure there have. So what were you studying at university?
I studied psychology and biological sciences. So I actually went into psychology as an interest in animal behavior.
Right.
Because although it's humans is what you normally think of psychology. It's usually based in animals beforehand.
Okay.
So.
And how did you happen to luck into being a mom for young
Oh.
Penelope here?
Right place, right time, amazing opportunity.
Penelope is hanging from her arms now,
Yeah.
swinging around her neck.
I volunteered for it, and the management at the time decided it was a good opportunity with my education and having other zookeepers on staff that have done it before. So they assist me, and we work together, and it's.
And so
been an
you've
amazing
taken her
experience.
home since she was just a wee thing.
2 days old was the first time.
And
I
you've
brought
done
her.
all the feeding and all the rest, right?
Yes.
And the diapering.
And the diaper.
And the lullabies in the middle of the night.
She does enjoy singing, actually. Yeah.
Does she talk yet?
Yes, she does talk.
Does she say your name?
No. She makes little chattering sounds.
Yeah.
And that she usually vocalizes when she's hungry or she sees someone new and they're looking at her eye level. She'll start chattering, and then she has a very distinctive cry as well.
Aw.
So.
Do primates cry? Like a small child, like if you had an infant, that baby would cry.
Yeah.
Does this baby cry because she might be hurt or something? Does she cry?
Yeah. She will. She'll cry. If more so when she was younger, she'd cry if she was overtired. She'd cry if she was hungry. She'd cry when her diaper was full. Now
So
not.
just like a human baby.
Yeah.
So
how they
in your
communicate
study
with
of,
us.
of psychology and behavior of animals, have you learned like way more than you thought possible?
Yeah, definitely. I studied a lot of developmental psychology in school, and the applicability to raising a baby ape is amazing. So we're so similar, especially at this point in their development. We're so similar.
Yes, I've noticed the similarities, but I didn't want to say.
Yeah,
Because she must be very similar to a child at this age,
Yeah.
right? I mean, its fundamentals are all there.
yeah, and if you look at the development of an ape, like for instance, she won't be an adult till she's about 6 years of age. So it's much slower than if you look at a lot of the other animals,
Yeah.
right? Where they're
Is their year our year? Like my dog, right? Her year, my year is her 7.
yeah.
Are apes kind of us and them the same?
I would say almost twice. As
Oh,
much.
really?
Yeah. So
Okay.
because they live till about 60, so
About 60.
50, 60.
And so she will join a family there. How many Gibbon types are there?
Types of gibbons?
No, how many have you got down at the zoo?
Down at the zoo, we have her mother and her father,
Yeah.
and then her full brother, Bandit. So
Bandit.
Bandit.
That's just a bad name.
When she goes back with her family, Bandit will be moving on to another zoo because he's just hit 6 years of age. So it would be in the wild. He would be moving on to find his own family, and then so she'll move in with her mom and her dad.
Oh,
And
okay.
they live in small family groups. They're a pair bonded ape, which
Yeah.
makes them pretty unique. They'll mate for life.
They mate for life?
Yeah.
Wow. And so will the Valley Zoo bring in a partner for Penelope at some point?
It kind of depends where we're at when she is about 6 years of age. Either we'll bring in a pair or she'll leave and find a mate somewhere else.
But the pair that you have, her mom and dad are not likely to have more babies, are they? Are they getting a little advanced?
They are getting a little advanced. We weren't really expecting Penelope because she
Like,
was.
shouldn't they be going to the cottage and coming back now?
retiring. Yeah. No, her mom's 26, so that's getting on there for still having babies, but she's had 7 of them.
Wow.
So.
Because, I mean, I would think you'd sort of want to keep Penelope, because, you know,
I
it's just a
think
thought
so.
I'm having.
Yeah.
Our lines are open. If you have a quick question about the Valley Zoo, they've got a lot of programs. And if you had an opportunity to see Penelope, you would love her. She's just outstanding. Is Bandit as socialized as Penelope?
No.
No way.
No.
It's because you raised Penelope.
Yeah.
You can't imagine this, and you must see this. I think it's one of the things that was most amazing about the zoo when we first went down, and we went down because of our bucket list to go and wash an elephant. Yeah. And we got to see so much there. It's amazing all the things you see that you'll never see anywhere else. And I know that there are people who say, well, why would you have a zoo? Well, I'll tell you why. Because we keep stealing all, the natural habitats of animals. Zoos are going to be the end. It's all there'll be left for these animals to live. And so I think we have to take a look at programs. There's some programs down at the zoo that are very different than other programs. They have some conservation programs, etc. We'll talk about that with Denise. Let me take a break, though. If you have a quick question about Penelope, by all means, 496-0063, 496-0063, and we'll definitely have her picture on the web so you can check at 630ched.com. You're listening to Primeau. This is 630 Ched.
Canadians need office supplies.
Look at her. I love her.
Canada's largest supplier.
I love
Business
her.
Depot.
She knows this is all about
I
her.
took a gazillion photos, you guys, of the hut removal. So I'm gonna be saying,
Oh,
oh, you
Did it-
have
okay, did it come
no
out in one piece?
idea. Oh yeah.
I was so worried.
We got it up and lifted and stuff.